Hello, my name's Roisin, and I've made a discovery. Hello friends, so I've been meaning to make a video about migraines for about a month now, and today I am currently recovering from one, so it seemed like the perfect timing to make this video. So, story time! A few years ago, I was travelling with my boyfriend in India and Southeast Asia, and it was hot. Of course it was hot, it's a tropical climate. And every so often, on humid days when the heat was so oppressive it felt like it was closing in around me, I would have what I described as funny turns. I would feel dizzy and spacey. I would feel like I was inside a giant bubble, almost like disassociation. I would slur my speech and I would struggle to lift my head. I would get pins and needles in my hands and feet, and I would suddenly feel really, really cold. I would also feel those creeping fingers up my spine and that saliva in the corners of my mouth that indicated I was about to be sick. And I had absolutely no explanation for this. Getting back home, these funny turns continued to happen, though less frequently. I would get really dizzy, need to be helped to bed, and honestly just feel like rubbish for a few hours to a few days sometimes. At this time, I would also get these headaches. These intense stabbing headaches that would hit very specific points in my skull. It would last maybe for at most a minute. I told my doctor about this pain and he asked if I had ever had migraines. And I said yes, I got them when I was a teenager, but these pains feel very, very different. Migraine headaches would last all day for me. And these headaches I was experiencing were very intense, but very brief. I didn't know what was wrong with me with these funny turns. I thought maybe it was postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome, or POTS, or maybe it had something to do with the hives that I get on and off, or even to do with my digestive system, which is not the best either. When you're chronically ill and everything seems to be just a little bit broken, it can be hard sometimes to pin down what is causing a specific problem. August this year, it reached 34 degrees where I live, with no air conditioning and houses that were designed to trap in the heat of fires and a humidity of 80%. And I had a funny turn. It was my first one in ages, and I was just so frustrated that it was happening again. I have these funny turns. I often also get quite emotional, and I was really upset at this point. And then the next day, my vision went funny, just like it had done in my teenage years. And a headache came on the right side of my head, which was so severe I had to close my eye. This was a migraine. I recognised it instantly. But I also noticed my body go cold. The pins and needles climb up my legs, and a fog closing in over my head. It was exactly like those other funny turns. Only this time, I had a headache. If you've never had a migraine before, when you hear that word, you might think, oh, that's just a severe headache. But actually, it is the most common cause of disability in the UK, and there are at least 7 different types of migraine, and there are other symptoms outside of the headache, and sometimes even without the headache. Migraines are a neurovascular disorder, which means that it is thought to be a problem with the blood vessels that supply the brain and spinal cord with fresh oxygen. Our nervous system relies on nutrients supplied by these blood vessels, which means that if something goes wrong, you can get a headache that feels like you are trapped in a clamp, intense pressure as though your brain is swelling against your skull, or a pinging kind of pain as if someone's caught your nerves in some pliers. It also means you can have other neurological and vascular symptoms, such as pins and needles caused by pressure on your nerves or a reduced blood supply, dizziness or presyncope, which is the feeling like you might faint because of a slowdown in the oxygenated blood supply to your brain, or because of a reaction in the nerves in your ears which can affect your balance and cause you to feel like you are stood on the prow of the ship in the middle of the Atlantic during a terrible storm. And of course, the bane of all of us with a chronic illness, brain fog. Migraines are split into 4 parts. The prodrome, which is the sense of impending doom, the aura, or all the weird non-pain symptoms, the headache, and the postdrome, or as I like to think of it, the migraine hangover. But for me, I regularly get the sense of impending doom to flat on my back and very confused without the flashing neon warning sign of a headache. And some people get no warnings or weirdness, just a sneak attack headache. But we all get the hangover. So when I say I have migraines without the headache, that doesn't mean it's a completely chill experience for me. Sometimes I do have the headache. Sometimes the headache only lasts for 1 or 2 minutes. Sometimes it's entirely pain-free. But whichever one it is, I feel like shit. Think about when you're coming down with a cold and you don't yet feel all snotty or have a cough, but there's just that sense that something is coming. Then add some nausea, a feeling like you might faint, and just a sort of low-level hum of distress. In fact, back in March when the pandemic first started, I had a few days with a migraine without a headache, and I was convinced that I had COVID-19. I had muscle aches, I felt sore, I had chest pains, and also I had this foggy feeling like I was coming down with something feeling. And because I didn't yet know that you could have migraines without the pain, I was really panicked. I have several other issues. I have arthritis, I have digestive issues that all come with their own fun side effects. But one thing that I really struggle with migraines is that they can strike at any time. Sometimes it's like a slow creeping dread, a rising fog, and sometimes it's entirely a bolt from the blue. It always takes me a little while to realise what's going on. I'm like, have I eaten enough today? Am I just really tired? Is this fatigue? And it's not until I'm flat on my back that I realise, oh, it's a migraine. I'm sort of quite pleased that I don't drive because I can't imagine what it would be like for one of these to hit me while I'm behind a wheel. I'm still working out what my triggers are, aside from humidity, because the list of possible triggers is longer than all of my limbs stretched out end on end. And for some people, caffeine is a trigger. For some people, caffeine helps their migraine. So it's really an individual thing. But I wanted to make this video for anyone who has any unexplained symptoms, anything that keeps happening that you just don't have the words for, or that you feel like the doctors aren't listening to you when you try to explain. It might be a migraine without a headache. It might not. But I want you to know that I know what you're going through. You are not alone. I know how incredibly frustrating it is when you don't feel listened to or when you can't explain what it is that's going on in your own body. I hope that you too can find a label for what it is that ails you, that helps you to find the help that you need, a path forward through the fog. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you found some of it helpful, or at least explains to you what some people you know might be going through. Please remember to give this video a like if you liked it, and to subscribe for more videos about books and chronic illness. And I will see you again soon because I put out new videos every Tuesday, Thursday and Saturday. Bye bye!